Hello class, today we are looking at integer concepts. So, your essential question is, how do I analyze real-world situations? Your learning intention, I'm learning to use integer concepts to analyze real-world situations. You've got 3 warm-up questions. Pause the video and see if you can do them on your own. Well, I do hope you tried. So if you're looking at the first one, x is 2, y is 7. 2 times 7 divided by 2. What we do first is our multiplication because it comes first. This becomes 14 divided by 2, and the final answer is 7. We're right back where we started from. For the next one, q is 12, p is 10. It becomes 12 divided by 6 plus 10. Order of operations says that we divide before we add. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 plus 10 becomes 12. How about the last one? This should actually be raised to the third power. Why to the third power? What does it look like? X is 9, so I start with 9 minus parentheses. 9 minus parentheses. 9 minus 1 raised to the third power. Close it off twice. Order of operations tells me to do what first? Exponents. 9 minus parentheses, 9 minus 9 minus 1 equals. Okay. Now what? Go to our parentheses. We do what's in parentheses first. 9 minus, and in parentheses, 9 minus 1 is 8. One more set of parentheses. 9 minus 8 is 1. That leaves me with 8. So hopefully you were able to complete these problems, these warm-up problems on your own. If not, you need to do some more practice. IXL is a good place to look. And we'll start with today. We're looking at square roots. Remember, your square root is what number times itself will give you the number that's underneath the square root sign. So we've been looking at this, and I've handed out the multiplication tables, and the diagonal shows you all the square roots, or all these perfect squares, up to 400. So if I'm looking for 20, well, you've got 16, you've got 25. 16 is the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. So we know that 20 has got to be somewhere between 4 and 5. Okay, is 16 closer to 20, or is 25 closer to 20? Well, 16 is closer, it's 4 away. 25 is 5 away. So the square root of 20 between 4 and 5 will be closer to 4 than to 5. Okay, square root of 5. Well, 5, I've got 1, 4, and 9. The square root of 5 would be between, in here somewhere. The square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3. So it's between 2 and 3, but it is definitely closer to 2. Well, the next one's a really big number. So as I'm looking at this, 118. Well, I've got 121 and I've got 100. The square root of 100 is 10. The square root of 121 is 11. Well, 118 is much closer to 121 than to 100. So I'm going to be much closer to 11 than to 10. Okay, what about 64? Well, 64 is a perfect square, so we don't have to do any rounding. The square root of 64 is 8. What about the square root of 44? Take a minute and look and think about what's going to happen. The square root of 44 will be between 36 and the square root of 36 and the square root of 49. Is 44 closer to 36 or to 49? Well, it's a little bit closer to 49, so it's going to be a little bit closer to 7 rather than to 6. Okay, I'm going to put this up here again. 83, square root of 83. Okay, try this one on your own. Pause the video and see if you can figure out where the square root of 83 will go. Well, I hope you tried. If you're looking, here's the square root of 81. 81 is bigger, 83 is bigger than 81, but nowhere near 100. So it's going to be really, really close to 9. Okay, that was an estimation. Hopefully you were able to get that last one on your own. If not, kind of back the video up and let's see where you're not quite understanding. Okay, so we're looking at negative numbers. We've got negative 43 and negative 41. If I put 0 right here, which one is bigger? 43, negative 43, or negative 41? Negative 41 will be closer to 0. So if we're looking at this, now we've got that picture in our head. Is negative 43 to the left of negative 41? Yes. Well, if it's to the left, it cannot also be to the right. Is it less than negative 41? Yes. Well, if it's less than negative 41, then it cannot be greater than negative 41. Is negative 43 closer to 0? No. Negative 41 is closer to 0. So make sure you draw those pictures to help yourself when we're looking at those kinds of integer concepts. Okay, the table below shows yesterday's high temperatures for 4 cities. Write the temperatures in the correct order from the coldest to the warmest. So looking at this, what would be the coldest? Negative 15 degrees, 10 degrees, 5 degrees, or negative 7 degrees? If you said negative 15 degrees, you would be correct. So, what will be next? The other negative number, which is negative 6. That's negative 6 degrees. Okay, I've got 5 degrees and 10 degrees, which would be the next coldest. 5 degrees and then 10 degrees. They are in order from the coldest to the warmest. Okay, Cassidy has taken a job passing out free discount cards to potential customers. She starts with 25,000 discount cards. She's able to hand out 13 discount cards before the next shipment of 1,450 cards come in. The next day, Cassie hands out 12,250 more discount cards. How many are left? Well, she starts with 25,000 and she hands out 13,000. She gets 14,500 more, and out of those she hands out 12,250. Let's put it in order. She's starting with how much? 2,500. And she hands out 13,000. Will that be adding or subtracting? That will be subtracting. And then some more come in. Is that adding or subtracting? 14,500 come in. That would be adding. And then she handing out is subtracting. 12,250 more. Okay, so what do we do first? Well, it's all addition and subtraction. So whatever comes first is what you do first. Okay, 25,000 minus 13,000. 25 minus 13 gives me 12, so this will be 12,000. Okay, next comes addition. 12,000 plus 14,500, 12 plus 14 would be 26,500 minus 12,250. Okay, if we're looking at this, 500 minus 250 gives me 250. 26 minus 12 gives me 14. So, there are 14,250 cards left. If they were good discount cards, I'd want one. Okay, any questions? Back the video up and see what you understand or don't understand. And if you still don't understand, let's have a conversation. Okay, how many of you are in PE or have been in PE? So, one of the things they do is time you. I didn't always like being timed, but it kind of happens. So, students are timed and recorded each week as they run around the track. The list below shows the change in some of the students' times from the week before. Shauna's change in time is -6 seconds. So she took 6 seconds off of her time. Yancey's change in time is 3 seconds. He added 3 seconds. Philip's change in time is -2 seconds, which means he shaved 2 seconds off. So, graph the changes on the number line. -6, +3, and -2. What is the sum of all their changes in time? I'm adding. Sum means add. Negative 6 plus negative 2 plus 3. Order of operations tells me that I do the addition in order. So negative 6 plus negative 2. They're both negatives. Combine them with addition. 6 plus 2 is 8. Negative 8 plus 3. This time they're opposite signs, so when I add, I actually find their difference. The difference between 8 and 3 is 5. 8 is negative, so my 5 will become negative. So the sum of all their changes was negative 5 seconds. I know I'm successful when I can use integer concepts to analyze real-world situations. So I would put word problems, positive and negative numbers. In fact, instead of numbers, I would actually put integers, because all we talked about today were integers.